Got a head shake like a walleye.
Good. Oh yeah.
Nice walleye.
Oh
Nice
yeah,
walleye.
that's a nice walleye here. I'm gonna get out of your way here. Okay.
Ready?
Wow, that's a beauty, Al. Nice way to start out the day.
Looks good.
Wow, look at there. Oh, ho, 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 ho.
All right.
Wow. That is a walleye. Isn't that a beauty? See, I can't even see that jig. Here, I got pliers right here. Wow, that fish just. Let's see. I'm not much of a surgeon, but I'll try here. There we go.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Wow, that is just a dandy here. Look at that fish in the water. Wow. Well, that's a nice way to start. We're on Leech Lake, Minnesota, and if you've watched our show in the past, we've shot a lot of shows on Leech Lake the last few years. The reason being is it's one of the hottest fisheries in Minnesota. When we're filming shows, we just go where there's good fishing. That's the easiest way to shoot a show, and this is one of the best places if you want to catch walleyes. We're joined by a friend of mine who we've done a lot of shows with in the past. We've been friends for years, and Al Maas has been guiding on this body of water for years, and I always enjoy filming with Al because he offers so many just insights that have so much experience behind him. He's been fishing on this body of water for years, and so Al's going to share a lot of what he knows is going to help you catch more fish this fall. But fall fishing on Leech Lake is as good as it gets. A lot of these fish will push up shallow. You can catch these fish in shallow water on jigs, and it's a fun way to catch fish, and it's effective, and we're going to discuss some of these things on today's show.
We are fishing Leech Lake in mid-October after several major cold fronts. As water temperatures drop in the fall, shallow bays with good weed growth often load up with fish. These types of locations often lack obvious structure. We often find fish relating to subtle dips and troughs that offer depths of 6 to 9 feet of water. Active fish often slide up into the shallower water adjacent to these subtle holes and channels.
There's one.
You got him?
Yep. Yep. This looks like a good fish.
That is a good fish. Rod's bent good. Oh, dandy
yeah, there's a
walleye.
nice fish there.
That's a nice fish. Wow, look at that. Oh, there we go. I didn't know if she was quite ready yet, but yeah, that's a,
Yeah.
wow.
There's still a little sluggish here, but there's a good one.
Yeah, that is a dandy. Wow. Leech Lake gold right there. There. That was a dandy fish, Al.
Yeah, that's a good one, Jace.
You know, and I tell you what we're doing here. You know, we've done this pattern before in the past, but it's just such an effective pattern on Leech Lake here in the fall. If you can imagine all this wild rice and shallow weeds, there's so much 3 to 4 foot of water around us, even shallower. And basically what it is, just this old channel, just depression almost. It's say 6, 7, 8 feet of water, and there's just different spots in these shallow bays where you just get a little bit more depth, and these fish just use those holes. And it's pretty common, but you made a point earlier when we were eating breakfast this morning. Al hunts ducks out here a lot, and he was making a comment that he heard this snapping noise when he was setting up decoys the other morning, shining a light in the water, and all kinds of walleye swimming around. And so these fish on Leech Lake really do use shallow water, use weeds a lot in this lake, don't they?
Exactly right. And you know, we're into the fall, we're into duck hunting, and we use this 1,000,000 power candle, and you shine in there. It's not only walleyes, you'll see bass, you see a lot of pike, the bluegills are in there, the bullheads, just about everything, Jace. And it doesn't make any difference where you really stop, but the concentrations that we've got going right now are in this river channel, just right on the edges of that real shallow water. And boy, they've been good to us, you know.
Well, that makes sense because, I mean, you look in the water, you can see minnows swimming around. There's a lot of activity.
Lot of activity.
Invertebrates.
Yep.
Makes sense that they'd be up here where the food is. There, I got him.
Good show.
That fish wasn't terribly far from the boat. There we go.
Oh yeah, great color, nice fish. Good, Jace, good.
Bring him over to you there.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah,
Thank you,
boy.
sir.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, good fish.
Yeah. Looks right in the top of the beak, perfectly right where he should be. Yeah, nothing wrong with
Healthy.
that.
Nice fish.
Yeah, what we're doing here, Al's been experimenting with big shiners. He's caught a couple fish. I've been switching between small shiners and rainbows, just see if we can just get a pattern going. We're getting bites, we're missing fish. We're just trying to mix it up here, just see if we can find something that's working better. But basically what we're doing is we're just casting these light jigs over these shallow weed beds. There's little dips and rolls and depressions where there's not much weeds, a little bit of junk weed on the bottom. Then there'll be stands of coontail, patches of cabbage. We're just throwing it up on those weeds and just letting that jig hit when it sinks down through the water and hits that
Another walleye.
vegetation. Yeah, there you go.
Little one.
We're just popping that jig up and just kind of letting that minnow struggle and back down the weeds and just popping it up through the weeds, and that's the technique. And it seems like as these water temperatures drop, this just gets better and better. These fish really load up in the shallow water here for a while every fall.
Okay, what we're doing today, because we've had really a bad cold front, we've dropped down temperature degrees, almost 9 degrees. We had storms for several days. We're pitching jigs into shallow water. We're going along the weed edges, kind of combination of coontail and cabbage, and kind of working them slow along the edge, and it seems to be working. We're using Northland stand-up jigs. Seems to give a little bit different presentation of the minnows. And we've been doing pretty well on both rainbow minnows and on shiners. So that's our actual method of presentation right now, and so far it's worked a little bit. Oh, walleye. There you go. An eater.
Yeah, that would be a dinner fish, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That's what most of these people are looking for, you know.
Oh yeah.
A little bigger than that.
Here we go.
Fish. Good one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like
that's
a good
fish, Al.
Now, let me slow down here a little bit.
Okay. Just wear them out here.
Yeah.
That fish was up shallow.
Yeah, really. That's the big fish there. That's what we're looking for right there, right?
Yeah. I bet if you could just hang over the top of these fish,
Yeah.
you could probably see them laying up there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They're probably soaking up a little sun.
I think you're right. That's dandy.
There you go. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, that's good.
There. There, thank you,
Nice
sir.
fish, James.
Thank
Nice
you.
fish.
Here. I'll get them out of the net here.
Get that out of the line out of the way here.
There. Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
he's a healthy one.
Grab the pliers here. Hooked him on the bottom of the jaw. That's kind of odd. I guess he hit it on the drop, but I had a big shiner on that time. There hasn't been any rhyme or
He's
reason.
kind of dragging too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we've caught a few on small rainbows. We've caught a few on big
Yeah.
shiners. There's just no rhyme or reason. Just a matter of them opening them up.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a dandy there. We'll get that fish in the water and get baited up here.
And he was shallow.
He was. We're just kind of cruising down this trough. We're going right down the middle of the trough and then casting up shallow. We've had a few fish hit right below the boat. We've had a few fish slide up and hit up shallower, but there hasn't been any one pattern that's really
No, not
been
really.
defined today. I would guess though that by the end of the day though, they set up and do something that we can
Yeah.
hone in on.
There we go.
Got him.
Yep.
How's he feel?
I think it might be all right. I hope it's not another 2, but you never know here.
Oh yeah, nice walleye, Al.
Is it a walleye?
Yeah.
A pike. Huh? I couldn't see it.
Yeah, that's a
That's a
dandy,
walleye now.
dandy
Nice one.
walleye. Yeah. There we go.
There you go.
All right.
All right.
Fish came right off in the net, but there. Beauty, Al.
Yeah, good
Nice
fish.
work. There we go. Get you out of the net here. You know, part of the strategy that we're doing here might be something neat to touch on is that there's been a couple areas here where we've been getting bites, a few areas where we've been catching fish, but we're not just planting ourselves in one spot. We'll work an area for half an hour, work it pretty hard, then we'll pull out of that area for half an hour, 45 minutes, and then slide back in. And we've got a couple of key spots that we keep sliding back into every half hour or so, but in the meantime, we're just kind of roaming around, trying to find other spots, other fish. But It seems like in this shallow water, if you just kind of pull in and pull back, it seems like those spots charge up a little bit better than if you just sit right on them.
That's right. They're migrating a little bit around.
Absolutely.
Starting to move a little bit more nowadays because they're warmer up.
Yeah, and in the presence of the boat, I imagine too, kind of keeps
Yep.
fish from moving up and stuff. And so that's something to consider in shallow water. Slide in, slide out, but don't just plant there. Just kind of roam around in the general area and stay
That's right.
close.
Yeah, a nice one.
Yeah.
That's a better fish.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
Dandy.
I just love it how you can see them in that clear water.
Pretty, pretty, pretty.
It is, isn't it?
The kind we want right there.
He ain't tired yet.
No. Nice fish.
There, come on up here, girl. There, thank you,
Very
sir.
nice fish. Very nice fish.
That's a dandy there.
That's what we want.
Yeah. Get my hand underneath her gill. There. There.
Good show.
Yeah, isn't that a dandy?
It is a dandy.
I'm gonna get the pliers here. Caught on the windshield there. There. Dandy. That fish was shallow. I mean,
4 feet of water.
I could see the bottom
Yeah.
where that fish was. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
I would guess too that these fish are sliding up, sliding down.
That's
you
all
know,
they're doing.
letting that sun hit their back.
Yep.
You know, that's really neat too about these fall patterns, is they're a lot like spring patterns, aren't they? A lot of these
Exactly
spots that are
right.
really good in the spring,
When
good in the fall
we
again.
opened this year, Jace, this was all ice. Leech was frozen, remember, in the opening. And this was the first open water we came out here. They were in here, you know, at that time already. So.
Yeah. You know what's really neat too about the fall, I've often noticed is, you know, in the fall, the water temperature dropping seems to get these bites going. And that water temperature just keeps dropping every cold night you have. It seems like the fishing just keeps getting better and better until you can hardly stand to be out here.
Yeah, that's right.
In the springtime, if you have cooling water temperatures, it kills you.
Oh,
You know, and what's neat about the fall is that if you do get some warm weather and the water temperature actually starts to warm up a ways,
Yeah,
the bite gets tough.
that's
You
correct.
know, it's the exact opposite of what you see in the
That is
springtime.
exactly correct. Well, this is funny. As you look down here, you can see the bottom so clear.
Yeah.
Water's crystal clear.
Yep.
Yep, good job. That fish was right on there. We were in 4 feet of water. We're now in 2 foot.
You know, every body of water is different. Every season's different. And in the fall, there can be so many different patterns going on. There's gonna be deep patterns, there's gonna be deep structure, deep rocks, there's gonna be shallow patterns. But across the board, one thing that I really like about fishing weeds late in the year when the water temperature is really dropping fast is I really believe that weeds will hold a lot of heat. And it just seems like when things are changing fast, things are changing drastically, if you can find good green weeds, for whatever reason, it just seems like there's just always going to be a lot of fish around concentrated in those areas. And so that's something to consider is, you know, it's always worth checking, not just on Leech Lake, but any body of water. When things start changing fast in the fall, those weeds will retain some heat, they'll stay a little warmer, and it'll provide a little bit of a stable environment when things are changing, and that'll a lot of times hold fish.
There was one.
Got him?
Yeah.
All right, how's he feel?
I don't know. It's gonna be hard to say.
That would
It's
be
a
a dinner
walleye.
fish, Al.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Spunky fish that would look good in batter, wouldn't it?
That's the way we want it, right there. You got it.
Good fish here, Al.
Oh, okay. Good boy. Good, good, good. We'll take it.
Yeah.
Nice fish.
There we go.
All
Thank you,
right.
sir.
There you go.
Oh.
Oh, right in time.
Long distance release, that's all right. They all count the same, right?
There you go.
All right.
Good boy,
You know
Jason.
what, it's good to see.
Oh,
It is good to see so many fish that are this size, because with the slot limits in these lakes keep these fisheries healthy, or you don't see a lot of big fish. People still like to come out and eat fish, and that's a perfect
Right.
eater right there, isn't it?
that's correct. There's one.
Got him. Grab the net here for you. There we go.
Over here in the middle.
Yeah. There hasn't been a rhyme or reason to anything, has there?
No, not by any means.
Here.
As water temperatures drop in the fall, the shallow patterns often mimic patterns you'll find in the spring. The most consistent fall patterns often require the water to cool down, but shallow patterns in particular often turn on as the day progresses and the water temperatures bump up a degree or two. Subtle jig presentations often shine. Snap and swim lightweight 1/16 and 1/8 ounce Northland tackle stand-up fireball jigs so that they make sporadic contact with the vegetation, snapping the jig when you contact weeds. 6 to 8 pound monofilament often works best because it causes the jig to hang and slide through the water in a subtle manner that the fish often prefer.
There we go. Good fish, Al.
That's real, yeah, it is. Take him up from the front. Nice one.
Tell you what, there we go.
That's a pan.
Yeah, that's a fryer.
Pan fryer.
It really is nice to see so many eaters around. That can be the trouble when you fish lakes with slot limits, is you can't get nothing to eat, but that ain't the case here.
No, that's not the case here.
Got him?
Hey, got him.
There you go, Al.
Well, I don't know what we have, but I think it's a walleye.
I got one too.
Yeah, that's a walleye.
All right. I'll come around here too. Here, I'll try to net yours here.
Well,
real
we
quick.
could either one there. Yours might
You're
be bigger than mine.
closer. I tell you what, go ahead and lift yours right in there.
I'm
Here
gonna
you
pull
go.
it up and we're in.
Okay.
Let me get your, oh yeah, you got a better fish.
Yeah. Well,
All right. That was nice.
you know, we've been kind of waiting for this
Yeah, you got that
all
right.
day as far as just a little bit of
Well, we need
little bit of activity where these fish open up a little bit, and
I'll take
sometimes-
this one to eat.
oh, I tell you what, you get these big fronts come through. Sometimes you just have to buy time,
Yeah,
you know, and
that's
just
what it is. It's
hang out in the area and let it happen. Sometimes it takes a little while, but yeah,
nice
that's-
proportionate fish.
they are
Very
beautiful,
healthy.
healthy
Mhm.
fish. Yeah, no, that's
Good
what
show.
Leech Lake is all about. Big fish, eater fish, and lots
Yeah.
of fish. So
Lots- yeah.
thanks
yeah.
for being on the show again, Al. It's
You're-
always a pleasure.
You're welcome.
To experience the fishery highlighted in today's show, use these helpful links to plan your trip.